morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we're going to be taking a look at all of the other cards in Infinity Zone. We've looked at all the good cards in Infinity Zone. There are, however, a bunch which are not particularly amazing, but we need to have a look at because you never know if there are going to be any hidden gems in here. Now, we are going to go fairly quickly. I'm going to tell you why I think they're good or why I think they're bad and what redeeming features they might have. So, shout out to the lovely Joe from Cerebi.net for providing the translations here. And starting off, we've got Parasect. Now, 1 grass energy, 30 damage, flip a coin if heads paralysis is actually pretty nice, but it's on a stage 1. And 30 damage is more than we often get on these flip a coin if heads paralysis attacks. But the fact of the matter is, it's just not good enough on a stage 1. On a basic, I'd be loving it. On a stage 1, I think it's a turn too slow, and I don't think it does enough damage. Yes, we have got Glimwood Tangle coming. It's like the old Victini. Lets you reflip, so you now have a 75% chance of paralysis. But the fact of the matter is, it's just too little damage and a turn too slow. And the free energy 110 is meh. I mean, free energy 110 is the kind of thing we expect to see on a Tapu Koko Prism Star, a backup attack on a Pokemon we're playing just for the ability. Incidentally, Tapu Koko does 120, so it's even 10 more damage. No, I'm afraid I'm not going to be putting Parasect in a video anytime soon. But how about Toxapex? Now, Toxapex comes in as a stage 1. And for 1 colourless energy, you discard 1 energy from this Pokemon, and then you remove all damage from this Pokemon. Which on the one hand is really good, on the other hand, you've only got 130 HP. Like, most things are going to be KOing you in 1 hit. If we look at the good things around in the format at the moment, Zacian will get a 1-hit KO. Pikachu and Zekrom will get a 1-hit KO. Blacephalon will almost certainly get a 1-hit KO. Dragapult V Max will get a 1-hit KO. And as much as I like the healing, all you're doing is healing. You're not doing a bit of damage plus healing. You are just healing. And you're probably getting 1-hit KO'd anyway. And that makes me a lot less enthusiastic about this particular Pokemon. Sorry. One that I really, really want to like is Wigglytuff. Purely because I was showing my daughter some of the new cards from Infinity Zone. Yeah, I am that daddy. And she went, Jigglypuff, see Jigglypuff. And I'm like, how do you know? And here's the weird thing, where at the time, I hadn't seen all the spoilers from Infinity Zone. It was the morning of the reveal, and I'd only looked at the big cards as Antoine Boulet had shown them. And I was like, I don't think there is a Jigglypuff. How did my daughter know, ladies and gentlemen? How did she know? Now, 120 HP is awkward because there's a bunch of Pokemon out there like Excadrill that do a natural 120. So we would like more HP than that, quite frankly. This is upsetting. And we've got 1 Psychic Energy, 30 damage plus sleep. No. Again, this should be a basic Pokemon. One I like using as an example is a Xurkitree from Forbidden Light. The Xurkitree from Forbidden Light for 1 lightning energy does 20 damage plus confusion. And the key here, very simply, is that you've got a basic Pokemon, single energy, so it's quick. You can be using this early in the game, and that's a good thing. What is not a good thing is waiting until you've evolved, and then after you've evolved, using your attack for this. It's too slow. We need an attack like this to be early. We need it to be kind of a turn 1 attack. By the time we get to this, it's just too slow. We've then got free colourless energy, flip 2 coins, 90 for each heads. Again, we've got Glimwood Tangle. But most of the time, you should be expecting to do 90 damage. And yes, this is an evolved Pokemon, so you can use triple acceleration energy. And it's a colorless Pokemon, or colorless energy requirement. So you can use stuff like Welder, but there are just so many better options for those cards. I'm not getting excited. But could we get excited about Golurk? Not really, no. 150 HP on a stage 1 is very high. This is really, really nice. And a retreat cost of 4 does mean you have access to buff padding, which means that you can... well, you can be fairly gigantic. And it is 10 more HP than the really good one from Cosmic Eclipse. That one does 160 for a twin energy if you've got no supporter cards in the discard pile. And incidentally, to spoil the surprise, if you want to play Golurk, play that one. As for this one, 3 energy, 80 damage, 5 energy, 180. I appreciate the fact that all the attack costs only have a single psychic energy in them, and you can use twin energy, and you can use triple acceleration energy, and you can use welder, and you can basically use whatever you want. I just don't think it's good. Like, the energy here does not work out. I mean, the first attack is not as good as Parasect's attack, and I didn't like Parasect. It's just underwhelming. 180 damage on a single prize Pokemon, yes! Especially one that's hitting weakness on Mewtwo and Mew, which is not to be sniffed at. But the fact of the matter is, you're just not doing enough damage to make it worth it, so... sorry. How about Passimian? Now, Passimian, I like Passimian purely because they keep putting American football puns in the attack names of Passimian cards, and that amuses me, quite frankly. Like, for instance, the kind of ridiculous named intentional grounding. I mean, come on. We got Power Huddle on there. We've got Spike Draw, because you spike footballs. It's just, it is weird how many Passimian out there actually have attack names related to American football. Plus, of course, there was the Passimian from Sun and Moon. It was a really good Pokemon and its own deck for a while. Surely we can get excited about this one. Not so much. Now, for a single colorless energy, we got Call for Family. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench. It's alright, but we just have other options, quite frankly. Not to mention, we got that new Capture Energy card, and that new Capture Energy is a colorless energy, and when you attach it to a Pokemon, you search your deck for a basic Pokemon, and you put it onto your bench. As far as Call for Family attacks go, this is fine. I'm not upset by this attack. But why would we play this over the Gossifleur from Sword and Shield? Gossifleur from Sword and Shield has a Call for Family attack, which gets 3 basic Pokemon. Now, of course, the argument is that Gossifleur is a 50 HP Pokemon, and this is a 110 HP Pokemon, fine, but there's still a million other Pokemon out there that can get 2 basics and pop them on your bench. It's not a bad attack by any stretch of the imagination. It's just incredibly not unique. And then free energy, 70 damage, not affected by resistance. No. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, cannot particularly get on board with that one. That's not a particularly good attack. Lots of Pokemon out there do resist fighting, but I'm still not getting excited about it. But how about Malamar? Now, Malamar's coming around as a Darkness Pokemon here. And what we see for 1 Darkness, 1 Colorless Energy, 50 damage plus Confusion. Again, I like these kind of attacks on basic Pokemon for single energy. Stage 1 Pokemon for 2 energy, it's too slow, it's too expensive, it's not going to work. Free energy, 80 damage, flip 2 coins, 40 more damage for each heads. No. Just no. It's not enough damage. If you want, and don't get me wrong, right, you're hitting Darkness against Dragapult, that's huge right now. But we've got the Umbreon that does 120 for a single energy if you had a Pokemon KO'd last turn. We've got that Spiritomb that everybody loves that can get up to fairly decent damage fairly quickly. We've got some good Darkness single prize Pokemon around at the moment. I'm afraid Malamar's damage output is just too low and too awkward to go and fit amongst it. But what about Thievul? Maybe Thievul could. Now here's the thing. 1 Darkness Energy, search your deck for any 2 cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand. It's nasty plot, incidentally. The thing is, I don't want to use this Thievul because Weavile's got nasty plot. And the thing about Weavile is you can then combo it with the Weavile that does damage if your opponent plays lots of Pokemon with abilities. Or the Weavile GX that can move your damage around your side of the field. There's some good Weavile around at the moment. Now, to be fair, I have said on a number of occasions I am fully in love with the Nickit from Sword and Shield. I think that is one of the most underplayed cards we got in the format at the moment. 1 Darkness Energy, your opponent shuffles a hand into their deck, onto the bottom of their deck, and then draws 3 cards. Great turn 1 attack going second. Big fan of Nickit. But the fact of the matter is, I still would rather play Weavile with this kind of attack so that I can take advantage of the other Weavile. And then we got 2 energy, 70 damage, which, no. Stage 1, 2 energy, 70 damage. We can do better, and honestly, we should be expecting to do better. Now, Skarmory is one that I really want to like. The hook, I suppose, here is 1 metal energy, 10 damage. But if this Pokemon has a tool attached, this attack does 40 more damage. It is 10 damage short of being, I believe, genuinely awesome. Because let's say that tool is Vitality Band. Then you're doing 60 damage. 10 damage base, plus 40 for a tool, plus the 10 for Vitality Band. You're doing 60 damage. And there's a bunch of evolving Pokemon that are going down when you're hitting 60 damage. But not enough. 70 damage would hit Jirachi, which is often in the active. It would hit Galarian Zigzagoon, which is seeing a lot of players attack right now. If I could hit 70 damage for a single energy going second, I would be all over it. Plus it hits for weakness, so single prize Pokemon, you would be getting pretty much all of those that are weak. But it hits 60. Skarmory is 10 damage away from being a really good Pokemon. If Muscle Band was still a thing, I would love Skarmory. Muscle Band is just 2 Vitality Band in 1. You just attach it to a Pokemon and do an extra 20 damage. But the fact that we've had Vitality Band tells us very clearly that Muscle Band ain't coming back. They have given us literally half of it. We're not getting it back, ladies and gentlemen. And that's sad. That's really sad. But true. I would love Skarmory if I could do 70 for a single energy. Single energy, Vitality Band, boom, 70 damage, go Wassy, go Wassy, go, go, go Wassy, go. I would really like it, and I would think it was a great tech in any deck, not just playing Metal Energy, but playing Rainbow Energy and playing Aurora Energy. I would love it. But the fact of the matter is, that's not where we are. And that sucks, but it's the way it is, unfortunately. We're 10 damage short, and that makes me super sad. Of all the Pokemon on this list, Skarmory, for me, comes the closest to being a genuinely really good Pokemon, but I think it falls just a little bit short, literally 10 damage. We're in a format nowadays where the difference between 60 and 70 is absolutely huge, and this is falling on the wrong side of it. And that makes me super sad, but it's where we are, I'm afraid. Maybe Ursaring can make me feel better. I do kind of love me some Ursaring. Now, to be fair, I do like the first attack of Ursaring. 3 colourless energy, 70 damage, discard the top card of your opponent's deck. Now, it's 3 colourless energy, but as previously mentioned, triple acceleration, twin, welder. Colourless energy we're not worried about paying. We can pay these attack costs. You just not... As a side note, the art here is phenomenal. I adore the artwork on this card. But you're not hitting at anything for weakness. Now, the good news is you are doing 70 here. So you are getting that Jirachi. You are getting that Galarian Zigzagoon. But then again, I'm hoping you can all see the difference between basic Pokemon single energy and stage 1 Pokemon free energy. It's not the same. If you were hitting for weakness so you could be getting a whole bunch of other Pokemon, I would love it. But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't do enough damage, and we've actually got really good options for milling now. We're in a much better position for milling than we've been in for a while. We've got Center Scorch, who's a really good milling Pokemon. We've got that Rhydon, which is a pretty good milling Pokemon. We've got that Pokemon tool, Cursed Shovel. When you attach Cursed Shovel to a Pokemon and it gets KO'd, you discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. So that's the same number of cards milled as if you had attacked twice with Ursaring. And that's kind of my point here. It's just not enough. Sorry, Ursaring. I still adore the artwork, incidentally. The artwork on this card is one of my favourite pieces of artwork in the set. As a side note, would anyone be interested in that video? Does anyone want me to count down my, top 10 artwork from a new set? It's not something I usually do, but I get questions about it occasionally, so let me know in the comment section. If I should be counting down the top 10 artworks when a new set comes out, let me know. Ursaring's going to be in there. So we might as well finish off having a look at Delcatty, the very last Pokemon from Infinity Zone we need to talk about. Now, this is another one that just looks like it could be good. Now, it's let down by being a colourless Pokemon. I should mention all these colourless Pokemon now do have powerful colourless energy. That's the new special energy, which is literally just strong energy for colourless Pokemon. You do an extra 20 damage with your attacks. But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't do enough. Like, free energy, 90 damage, yes, triple acceleration, twin energy welder, we've talked about all of this. But it's 90 damage and you're not hitting for weakness, it's not good enough. We then build in the first attack, 1 colourless energy, you switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active, and the new active is now confused. Okay. And confusion is nice, but then again we've got Cheering Wyhorn, which is a new item card that will confuse both active Pokemon, including your opponents, obviously. So we can confuse now using an item card. And you're switching them active, but we've got gusting cards. And this is kind of my point here. It's just not good enough. Like, in a pre-release, pulling someone active, confusing them, then doing 90 damage the next turn, yeah, do it. But in competitive formats, I don't think it's good enough, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think it's good enough. And that's kind of harsh. Never mind. So that is the roundup. Those are all the other Pokemon from Infinity Zone. The quick flick through the Pokemon that I don't think it was worth giving them their own video. I don't expect any of these Pokemon to really be good. And I'm sorry, I know that's sad, but hey ho. I am usually known for my optimism. It'll be back in the next video. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about all the cards I've talked about here. And of course, if you think I'm wrong about any of these cards, if you think I'm undervaluing any of them, if you think they are way better than I do, let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where you can find out about a whole bunch of games that don't have Pokemon in, but are pretty gosh darned awesome nonetheless. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.